And we are back. And we just finished watching 2006's Little Miss Sunshine, rated rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour and 41 minutes. This is tagged as comedy drama on IMDb and is currently available on Cinemax with Prime Video channels, or on just regular Max, or to buy or rent on Prime Video. This is the story of Olive Hoover, played so sweetly by Abigail Breslin. Wasn't she adorable in this?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I wanted to shrink her and put her in my pocket. Who is determined to compete in the Little Miss Sunshine competition out in California. Mm-hmm. So her father, who I guess is like a motivational speaker or something.
I think he's like an aspiring motivational speaker. He has like, I guess he holds little semonars, but
they're not.
He's like,
he's not like Toni.
Yeah, he's not the guy with the teeth.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll I guess he'll like hold like a little event where maybe like 4 people show up, and he's got his like charts with the 9 steps.
Yeah.
And he's very from his he's really like living what he's preaching.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, are you a winner? Or are you a loser? Because there's only 2 types of people in this world, and if you're going to be a winner, you got to think you're a winner. Yeah. Stuff like that. Mindless
which can
platitudes,
be a little bit much, especially in a familial environment.
And it could be a lot for a little girl listening to this stuff all the time, thinking, if my dad's going to hate me if I'm a loser.
Right. Oh.
And the truth is that life isn't winners and losers. It's
so messy.
It's messy. I mean, you could win but lose in the end. You could lose but win.
Yeah.
It really depends on your point of view and how you're living life. And one of the main themes is the only true loser is the guy who never tried to even do it, or was too afraid to do it because he didn't think he would win. If you're out there, if you're doing it, if you're, I guess, having fun, especially.
Yeah. You're 10 steps ahead of the game.
You're 10 steps ahead of the game, exactly. Yeah. There's no way you can consider yourself a loser.
Yeah.
Just, if somebody's calling you that, F them, you're happy.
Yeah. And eat the ice cream, damn it.
And eat the damn ice cream. Especially if you have the metabolism.
Yeah. Especially if you're
10-year-old
7.
Girl.
Yeah. If you're 7, you should be eating all the ice cream. This film is so great. Richard is played by Greg Kinnear, the father, the 9-step guru. Cheryl is Toni Collette, the amazing Toni Collette. Always amazing.
I don't know if I've ever seen her in crap.
No, she's A1,
good.
even when she's only in the screen for like 2 minutes. But here she plays the mother of the family. Dwayne, Paul Dano.
Paul Dano?
Young emo Paul Dano.
Guess what? Paul Dano's weird.
No surprise there.
Playing a weird guy with his.
Edwin is played by the late, great Alan Arkin, the grandpa. Yeah. And Uncle Frank. The lovely Steve Carrell. Everybody was gangbusters in this. Everybody was gang freaking busters.
Really good, and it's so good the way not only the characters change, but the whole family changes as the story progresses on this odyssey they go on to get from Albuquerque to California to make this little girl's dream come true. It's just great. The little yellow bus they're in. It's just awesome.
This is directed by Valerie Faris and Jonathan Dayton, with writing credits to Michael Arndt, Arndt. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but just a really solid script. Oh my God, really solid, really fun. Edwin's talk with Dwayne in the back of the VW bus was ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
Solid advice from an old man.
Man. Dwayne's vow of silence the first night with Uncle Frank. Please don't kill yourself tonight. Jeez. Yeah, it was fantastic. Miss California telling Olive, I love ice cream.
I liked when he wrote down, I hate everyone. And Frank's like, everyone? And he just underlines
everyone.
Yeah, lots of nice little touches like that.
Yeah, and everyone has like a moment to shine. Everyone has like no one's like a peripheral character. the whole interaction of Uncle Frank in the convenience store when he sees his ex-lover with the new lover, how that went down
at the worst possible moment. Because he's buying stuff for Alan Arkin.
Yeah.
And just the worst stuff too.
And oh my God, the scene with Hank from Breaking Bad.
Hank from Breaking Bad. He's looking, hey, yeah, look at this. And then he pulls out the last one. And
buns and
ammo.
It was amazing. Oy. Another Breaking Bad alumni, Bryan Cranston.
Oh yeah, that's right.
As Stan Grossman, who kept ignoring Richard's calls, and Dean Norris as the state trooper. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, just bang up all around, everybody. And then, oh my gosh, we were talking about, is it Cindy? No, that wasn't Cindy. Who is the woman who always plays
the biddy?
The old biddy.
The old biddy, yeah, she's always there.
Oh my gosh. She's Beth Grant. Pageant official Jenkins. Oh my goodness.
Character actress.
Yeah. If you don't know who she is, I'm sure you've seen her in something.
She's usually like the Puritan mom or something.
We just saw her in Donnie Darko.
Yeah, the one
Does she age? She's another one.
And Donnie Darko also children's pageant.
Yes.
Like if you need some nasty children's
she was like
pageant,
the dance
sparkle motion.
Yeah. Team captain.
Oh yeah, the sparkle motion.
It was like a dance thing.
But yeah, once again, it's with like exploiting children. Like, seriously.
She's all about exploiting children.
The children's pageant thing needs to just end.
Yes, can we talk about that?
Lord.
So
those kids look like aliens. They had so much makeup on.
Oh my gosh, it was. Yeah, I think that's offsetting the funny, because there were some very comedic moments here. Mm-hmm. Offsetting the funny is the weirdness surrounding children's pageants. These little girls that are just whored up and just made to look like
what's
Barbie
funny?
You know what's heroin.
Funny? You know what's the funniest thing about that is they make the kids up to look like drag queens.
Yes.
And like they're just and they're the ones who are dressing up kids to look like drag queens. Yeah. Drag queens aren't dressing up kids to look like drag queens.
Or grooming them.
Yeah. It's so bizarre. Yeah. I mean, because seriously, there's a bunch of the kids on that stage had so much makeup on them. Their hair is pulled up all tight. Their foreheads are just massive.
Yeah. And the scene where you're coming in and the woman's like spray tanning the child. I'm like, what? What is the point of this? And it was so nice to see Olive just be like a natural little girl. Mm-hmm. She wasn't wearing the fanciest dress.
Not at all. No.
She wasn't done up.
She wasn't into like a bikini.
Yeah. She wore like an age-appropriate bathing suit. Yeah. The other girls, I don't know what was going on there. I thought her talent portion was fantastic.
Super freak. Which makes sense given that she was being coached by Alan Arkin's character, who is
like
just
crazy grandpa,
just nuts. He's just like, never get into it. He's like, when you're old, that's fine. When you're young, don't do it. When you're old, it's stupid not to. Not good advice. Don't do it at any age, please.
Well, he was getting to the end of his life. I'm sure he was okay with it. Mm-hmm. But really solid performances by everyone. I mean, and it's funny because like the Uncle Frank, the Steve Carrell character, it's like you don't know, right? He's coming off a bad relationship. He had tried to kill himself. Is this going to continue? But I think the nice thing was, I mean, not nice, but something happens that brings the family together. Mm-hmm. And I think the big takeaway was, in spite of everything, in spite of all our flaws, in spite of the days where you disappoint me or I disappoint you, we are a family and we have each other's backs and we love each other no matter what. And even when Cheryl and Richard fought, I think deep down maybe they didn't realize it all the time. And I'm sure raising kids is hard and staying on top of bills is hard and whatnot. But I think at the end of the day, they genuinely did love each other. They lost sight of that. But then I think having the the united goal of giving Olive this experience really brought the family together in a way that nothing else could have.
No, it's a beautiful movie. I had never seen it before, so I always heard great things about it, but yeah, this was excellent.
Yeah, lived up to it, right? Yeah, it's definitely like a really great feel-good movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we also saw Call Me Chihiro, which is kind of a feel-good movie, I would say as well.
Let's not try and even compare the two. There's no comparison between either of those movies.
All right. No. I was going to say.
No. I know you're always trying to get a theme going, but there is no theme between those two movies.
Well, we'll have to watch something else then.
Well, no. Sometimes there's no theme. That's part of life. Just the randomness of it.
Imperfectness.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 1 to 10. What's your number?
This I'd give this a 9.
Ooh.
I like this movie a lot.
Wow. I didn't expect that from you.
No, I really did, because it's tough. There's a lot of characters, and one, you don't waste any of them, and two, you give everybody a satisfying arc. And then not only that, but not only do the characters, like I said, not only do the characters themselves have this growth, but the family together. Because in the beginning, they don't like each other. I think the only two that had a positive relationship was Grandpa and Olive. The rest were just apparently the mom and dad were
at each other's
throat, about to get divorced, possibly.
Dwayne was being
Richard was obsessed with getting his self-help program off the ground, and he was just being jerked around.
Dwayne was being a teenager.
He had dreams of being a pilot.
Although it was sweet that he didn't snap at Olive, right?
That was a beautiful scene, because something happens in the film where he like loses it, and they have to stop the car, and he like runs out into a field, and he starts screaming, and they have like 3 hours to get to the show.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do, and Olive just walks down the hill and doesn't say anything. She just gives him what he needs, which is just a hug and a shoulder to cry on. And that's it. And it's like perfect, because he just dries his eyes and he's like, okay, let's go.
Oh, that was sweet.
And that was just a beautiful, touching scene.
Yeah,
I loved that. I love that she just like went over and, was
like she commiserated with him. Like she understood.
Yeah.
Without even having to say anything, yeah.
And it's sort of like, it goes back a little bit, because previously, in like I think the previous section of the movie, there's that part where, I forgot what the son's name was.
Dwayne
and Oliver are sitting together, and he writes, give Mom a hug, and she does. And like it's like she recognized that. It was like, all right, now Dwayne needs the hug.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Absolutely perfect the way all that was done.
Yeah. I mean, listen, these are all really great actors, but together, combined, this is a powerhouse movie. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. If you have not seen it, run, do not walk, and check out Little Miss Sunshine from 2006. I was going to give it an 8, but I think I agree with you. I think this is a 9.
Yeah.
I was originally going to give it an 8. I'd seen this previously numerous times on cable. Always loved it. Always liked it a lot. I'm flabbergasted that Toni Collette doesn't have an Oscar. What the hell, America?
That's a crime.
That is a crime.
Yeah,
give her something.
She's outstanding in everything.
She is really, even when she's on the screen for 2 minutes, obviously she's more of a lead in this, but even when she's in stuff for a little bit of time, like in Knives Out, she's just, she's like Kramer. She dominates. I too will give this a 9. This is an absolute joy of a film. It's nice when, listen, sad stories have their place in the world, but seeing something fun and uplifting and sweet and feel good is also a treat.
And it has like some great little messages in it, like
don't do drugs as a young person.
Well, is that? But like when Dwayne and Frank are talking, and he basically says, it's the suffering parts of your life that make you who you are. And high school's like, that's some prime
Round
suffering time.
Yes,
you need that to make you a really good person.
Yeah.
And that's true. If you just slept through all that, or you just had a life where everything was just perfect, you'd be boring as just paste, you'd be the dullest person on earth.
Yeah.
It's the trials that make you who you are, make you a better person, mold your personality to make you unique.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a nice little message. Just everything about it. I love this film.
What about what Grandpa says to Dwayne in the back of the car?
You could see some positives in what Grandpa was saying. There's some negatives there too. He's a little crasser than any advice I would give. But who knows? I'm not Alan Arkin's age. Maybe when I'm that old and I'm like sitting in the back of a van with my grandson, I'll be like, "You need to be getting out there, boy."
Plowing through the tri-state area.
Get your dick wet.
That's such a weird expression. Yeah, this is definitely a really great film. It's not. I mean, it's bawdy. There's a ton of cursing in it. Well, not a ton, but there's some cursing in it. But ultimately, I think it definitely tells you. It focuses on the whole idea of how imperfectly perfect families can be.
Yeah.
And in spite of failings, that when everyone comes together, it can be glorious. Yeah, like that scene at the end at the pageant.
Yeah, and that's that. Like seriously, it all culminates into this great finale.
Yes, yes.
And it's just very sweet that they all were like, "There's all." I mean, seriously, every bad thing is happening to them.
Could possibly happen.
This is the worst road trip ever, and it's just like, no. We're doing this. We're getting through it. We got to do it for Olive. And they do it. And it's amazing. It's amazing.
What did you think of the scene where I guess Richard and Dwayne are like, tell Cheryl like she can't go on. She can't go on.
Oh, that. Yeah, no, that was sweet too, because it's like they all love this little girl and like they're so worried that all these other kids, they're doing backflips and they got like choreographed dances with just like fancy outfits and whatnot. And they don't think that Olive's, they think she's going to basically get blown out of the water. Yeah. But she
held her own, I thought.
No, it doesn't matter because it's like you're going out there and you've got the confidence and you're doing it. And that's the thing. I mean, a good level of confidence will carry you through and make a performance. I mean, it's charisma. It's that it factor. Yeah. And she was having a blast. She didn't give a crap about if she. I mean, she obviously would have liked to have won.
Sure.
But in the end, it was just, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm having a great time. And the family all stood up and that nasty old biddy was trying to get it taken off the stage. Yeah. No, they were having none of that. They told Richard to go out there, and he's like standing there, like they're thinking, okay, he's going to take her off the stage, and suddenly he's just like pumping his elbows and doing the crazy dance. And I loved how Miss California was just loving every second,
loving it.
And the other two were just like scared.
But even like the MC guy, he was like fine with it.
The MC guy was fine with it because it was fun.
What was the guy Kirby, the guy that Kirby, the guy that registered them, even though they were 5 minutes late. What a bitch. And also the pageant assistant Pam, played by Mary Lynn from 24.
Yeah. She's like smiling behind the old biddy. She turns around. Okay. Wipe that smile off your face. And then at the end, that scary looking dude, he's just like, yeah!
Amazing. And I love that Uncle Frank and Dwayne and Cheryl are all up there. Yeah. That was great. Yeah. I mean, no notes. 9 out of 10. This is definitely a winner and a must watch. Absolutely. If you have not seen 2006's Little Miss Sunshine, get on it. Rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 41 minutes. This was directed by Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Faris, with writing credits to Michael Arndt, Arndt, I guess. Sorry if I butchered your last name.
I would probably pronounce it the same way. If it's wrong, we apologize.
Absolutely,
I know all about having my last name butchered. So.
I also want to say this movie could not exist without his fantastic writing. So again, pay your goddamn writers.
Yes.
These movies, these storytelling experiences cannot happen without writers. They are so important. They are even more important than the executive level senior management of a company.
Yeah.
Because these are the people doing the work and fighting the good fight and putting these amazing stories on paper that you then see on the screen. Yeah, this was absolutely feel good, wonderful, and definitely a must watch. Go check it out as soon as you can. And that's it from us, and we will bid you all a
good night.
Good night.